Okay, 10,000, 10,000 or 30. Let's look into that 10,000 or 30 equation, the new math, the fuzzy math, the does the math. But 10,000 or 30. We were told to get 10,000 steps. Get 10,000 steps. And the reason I'm making this video is there's a lady who was on the video. It seems like it's weird. I look to see who's watching my videos. It's men, but the people that contact me are mostly women. It's probably because I'm so daggone handsome. But no, I think women are more likely to maybe ask questions. Maybe they're not they're not confident, but they're not as arrogant. Maybe as us men, we think our our poo poo doesn't stink. Believe me, I've been to the men's room. It stinks. But we think one way, and maybe they think a different way. They're more willing to take some not direct advice. It's not like I'm saying you, Marianne, should do this. No, it's I did this, I did that, and then they also have the situation where female versus male. So maybe they are more willing to ask a question like, "Well, I see that you did this, but you're 5'11", 300 pounds, and now you're 5'11", you're not 300 pounds, and that worked for you. That worked for you. I wonder if that would also work for me." And so one thing is very important: please check with your doctor before you do anything. Don't do anything until you talk with your doctor. And start from there. And so we can always have that conversation. I got this. What do you think we should do with this? Is that a banana? I can't have bananas, but this is a whale's tooth. And they say whale's tooth are ivory. You can't sell them. I guess ours are made of whatever ours is made of, but theirs is made of different material. Can you imagine getting bit by something like that? That's just the part that sticks out, not the part that's in the gum line. I don't know. But yeah, whale's teeth. What do I do with that? So anyway, so maybe they're more likely to ask questions like that. And but somebody said, "Well, I just went ahead and tried what you did without asking my doctor." I said, "You shouldn't do that. Please ask your doctor." You think I said, "Oh yeah, I'm so smart, egghead." Speaking of eggheads, where the heck is Polly's podcast? I gotta write her. But yeah, well, maybe they're more likely to do that, to ask questions and to think things out. Where they'll say women live longer than men and they show those things where a guy's holding a ladder like this, and another guy's climbing up, and another guy's holding a ladder like this, and they're on the edge and whatever, and some of the unsafe things that we do as men. And it's women that do unsafe things too. But yeah, so she was asking me about the 10,000 steps. And she said it's really hard for her because she works a full-time job. I think she said she works Tuesdays through Saturdays, and then she has a Friday-Saturday job. Friday, Saturday, Sunday job part-time. So really, one day off maybe. Where she has the entire day off. I don't really know how she juggles everything around. I know she was working for Grubhub, but she had to quit. Grubhub and DoorDash and all that's not really worth it where I live. Maybe where you live is great. Here, it's in the toilet. Hey, there was a tidy bowl man. Does anybody know what the tidy bowl man is? Remember that? But she not doing well with those things, and so she just said it's really hard for her to get 10,000 steps. She tries a lot of the tips I do, like if she does come home from work and she turns on the TV, she likes watching oldies like I do. I would watch MeTV and Nickelodeon. It was a Nick at Night channel now, and I don't even know what they call it anymore. But that run like Andy Griffith and Green Acres, and they run Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and all that kind of stuff. The Beverly Hillbillies, all that. So she watched that, and she said she did notice there's a lot of commercials. She said, "Oh yeah, sometimes if you watch an hour-long show, there's 15 minutes of commercial, I'm sure." So if you get up and you walk in place for 15 minutes and you watch 3 hours of television, well, you just got a 45-minute walk in there. She doesn't watch 3 hours, but she watches maybe it's about an hour and a half. So she gets whatever amount, but she gets in and she starts walking. Maybe a half an hour of that. But she says she uses her step counter, similar to the one I had. Mine got lost. I ordered another one on the 1st, and it's not here yet. Today's the 9th, about to go into the 10th. It's not here yet. They said there's a lot of issues in Oregon. Someone had stolen a lottery ticket that someone had won, and they were mailing it to the fulfillment center, and someone from the postal department, the postal service, stole it, and I guess they got busted cash in. Like if I work for the post office and the thing, and then I have my cousin in North Carolina you say that he was here visiting me and he bought that ticket or whatever, or he came out to California to be a movie star, and then he went back to North Carolina and he just happens to have that ticket. The lady had to sign the back and everything. I guess I don't know how they did, but they did steal it. They did get caught. They said the Pacific Northwest, there's some problems at some of the centers as well. So I don't know if that came out during tax time, were people stealing? Was it just mail being misdelivered? Could it be weather? But things are really, really slow. So she says, well, how many steps do you think you're getting a day? She goes, well, probably 7,000 steps 5 days a week. And I said, well, 35,000 or whatever. And I asked her, do you know why you're supposed to get 10,000 steps a day? Well, she's like, didn't they do a study and maybe at one of the Harvard Medical or Yale Medical or John Hopkins University somewhere, maybe for the Presidential Council on Health, did that and then put probes on everybody, and they'd run on the treadmill and walk on the treadmill, and they would check their heart rate, how long, how many steps it took to get their heart rate to this and all that. And I said, no. 10,000 steps, folks. 10,000 steps is like 8 glasses of water. Where did it come from? Out of somebody's buttocks. It was pulled out of the butt. Just pulled out of the, can you say the A word? Pulled out of the apple. I don't know. But and that was it. They just made it up. The 10,000 steps came from the fact that if you look at the character for 10,000, look at the Japanese character for 10,000. What does it look like? It looks like somebody walking. Yeah, the Japanese character for 10,000 like somebody walking. So there was this company, they made clocks and instruments, high level clocks and instruments. Remember in the 60s, we still were a little bit mad about Japan, about Pearl Harbor, and we dropped a big bomb on them, and they didn't like us. There's still a little bit of animosity, 20 years out from a major war. One of the biggest wars ever, right? I think right now it is the biggest war, maybe not the longest, but the biggest. So they made these things, and the Olympics were coming to town. And everybody had like symbols with the Olympics, with the rings and all that. And were they in Tokyo that year? But whatever year it was, and they said, let's tell people that they can track their steps with our instrument. Is it a watch? Is it what's it called? A pedometer, when you put it on and you count your steps. And we're so high end, and so we're so not high end, we're so accurate, we'll be able to count their steps, so they get 10,000 steps a day, because that's what you need to do. And I think they made when you exercise, do 10,000 steps, not necessarily every day, maybe 3 days a week, 4 days a week, maybe 7 days a week, I don't know, 8 days a week according to the Beatles. But they it's all made up. It's all made up. No, you don't need that. You don't have to have that. You may need that. Because let's say I walk on the trail in front of my house. It's like this, a little bit of up, then like that. It's a little area right where you cross the street from Monroe into Doherty, where there's a little bit of a hill and back down. It's basically level the whole way, But what if you live in an area where it's kind of mountainous, and maybe you live, there's lots of hills, and so you're up and down a hill. Your 10,000 steps will be different than my 10,000 steps. We'll have different 10,000 steps. So they kind of change things now. They're saying, please just get 30 minutes of exercise, 30 minutes of activity. Walk, maybe play racquetball. I always say racquetball because no one plays racquetball, or squash. And do you use a stick? A paddle for squash, I think you do. Cricket, whatever you play. Go out there and do that for 30 minutes a day, they're saying. But talk to your doctor first and say, is that good? Say this fat guy named David said 30 minutes of exercise a day is probably pretty good. But if she's getting 7,000 steps a day, that's probably taking her a little bit over 30 minutes. So that's good. She's getting her 30 minutes of steps per day. Maybe not every day. Sometimes you may not get any. When it was raining real hard, I'd have to go to the mall and do mall walking, or walk in place. We can always use excuses. Oh, it's hot, it's raining, it's this, to not do it. But we can also use our noggin to find ways to overcome those obstacles. So 10,000 steps or 30 minutes of activity. That's what this video is all about. 10,000 steps. So I'll put up 10,000 or 30. What's the answer? Whatever that algorithm. AI helps me with my titling. They can just run through all the different suggestions on all these different sites. What is a good thing for this? And they pulls out some dandies, some big zingers, some winners, whatever. Speaking of that, Big Brother was on TV just now, and I was on Big Brother. I don't know. Have you seen my episode? Maybe you have. If you have, let me know. Let me know if you saw it. You will be seeing me on TV coming up soon. I was a lead on one of the leads on a program. You'll see that. But yeah, the 8 glasses of water. Where did that come from? Do you know where 8 ounces came from? Back in the day, a standard a glass was 8 ounces. And someone was asking about how much water. They were saying it's important, not, especially during the summer, warmer times, to make sure you hydrate. Make sure you get get enough water. You gotta be cautious of that, cognizant, whatever it is. You have to know. So what they were saying is kind of like when I was in the military, we had to drink glasses of water before we sit down. We sit down. You can give everybody an opportunity to pray if they wanted to. You got to bow your head. You don't have to pray, and then you drink 2 glasses of water, and then you can dig into your food, and you can have, a little glass of Coca-Cola or orange juice or milk or whatever, and they would serve that to you. But you had to drink those 2 glasses of water because we were out, marching and going to the rifle range and cleaning, picking up trash somewhere, and we weren't allowed to just walk over to drink on. Excuse me, I think I'll go to the water fountain. No, so we carried canteens in case we need them. We have, like, they're called road guards, and they'd be in the back, and they would have to wear a belt with 2 canteens on it for the whole flight as it was marching. So when they needed water, they'd run up and they'd give them water and close up, and they were pretty good with that. They didn't think you were faking. Like, who wants to drink out of a dirty old canteen if they don't need to? But it was hot in Texas. But they said, he said, it was a male doctor. I know that. He said, well, I suggest, maybe drink a couple glasses in the morning, a couple glasses before lunch, a couple glasses before dinner, maybe, a couple glasses in the evening, not right before bed, because then you might have the hop up. He said maybe like 8 ounces of glass of water. And that's where it came from. Once again, just made it up. So there was no probes on people walking. There was they weren't extracting blood just to make sure there's enough water in it or whatever. They weren't doing a bladder test or having people urinate in a little thing for urinalysis. So really, if you can get some exercise, get some exercise. I'm sure that's good. Talk to your doctor first. Of course, of any exercise. When I first started exercise, they didn't want me to do anything more than like get up and maybe walk to the, out my door, walk to the street, turn around, come back. We're talking walk 20 feet and turn around and come back 20 feet, like a 40-foot walk. Yeah. And then there's this thing called Move program where you put like a can of green peas in here and a thing of cream corn, and you have to do exercise with that. That's for very heavy people. They have chair aerobics where you sit in the chair because these guys were too big together. So luckily I never was I was heavy, very heavy, but I was still able to do all that. They might have been able to do that as well. They were not. But anyway, 10,000 or 30. 10,000 or 30. Take care. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share. I might not put a please subscribe on this because you know to subscribe. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Please like, please share, give me a comment. Don't forget the contest is going on. It's almost over. In 1 hour it'll be the 10th, and it'll end in 5 days after that. So if you haven't already done so, Treasure Boy, the mystery man of magical treasure, he's gonna get it. He's now Mr. Storage Man. He may win again. I don't know. He deserves it. He entered all the contests. Take care, everyone. Have a great night or whatever it is. This will be out on Monday, tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Take care.